dying here, Jimmy.
Give it to a straight slick.
Buckwheats.
What?
Buckwheats.
Oh, my God. He said that?
That's what he said, buckwheats.
Well, bagpipe that shit, man. Let's take his fucking ass out.
Will you shut the fuck up? Your sick ass got us in this shit in the first place.
It's impossible anyway. Ever since the man with the plan got shot, the security around has been insane. Be easy to whack the fucking president.
What do we do?
It's buckwheats for all of us, Jimmy. Even you.
All of us, Franny, even me.
Buckwheats is a whole other animal. Guy orders a buckwheat hit, it just don't mean take the guy out. It means take the guy out in the most painful way possible. It means the Vic should suffer. Typical buckwheat hit is to shoot a guy up the ass. Yeah, ba-bing. Slug up the ass, you don't die so much as contort for a good 15 minutes. Then you die. I imagine it's like crapping white-hot razor blades. You know?
Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead is a movie which didn't get much love in its release date, but watching it for myself, I found myself fascinated by the effort put into the story. This film has an all-star cast, original plot, and delivers an underlying message you can find in the bones of the movie. What up, you guys? I'm Kent E.S. Larwill, and I'm a writer, YouTuber, who talks about everything from philosophy, politics, storytelling, and more. The easiest way to support what I do is to subscribe to this channel and like this video. It's free and takes a second to do. Once again, I gotta give a shout out to Tubi for not sponsoring this video, even though they should, but you can actually catch Things You Can Do in Denver When You're Dead on Tubi if you log on and take a look. The plot of Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead goes something like this. Andy Garcia plays an ex-criminal, but due to his startup business struggling to take off, he owes some money and a favor to his old crime boss. He then sets out to hire a crew for the job that requires skilled delivery. Andy Garcia hires his old crew of friends to get the job done, but things go horribly wrong in the process. So much so that the crime boss is pissed enough that he hires a hitman to kill them all. And so, a hit has been sent out for our Andy Garcia and all his friends, so they have to navigate what to do as death looms over their shoulder. I want to give a huge shout out to the cast of this film. This film has Christopher Walken, Christopher Lloyd, and Steve Buscemi, along with a whole cast of other supporting actors. I also wish there were more movies with Andy Garcia playing the lead after seeing his performance as Jimmy the Saint. As for how the characters are written, the writing carries things along quickly with every scene, but does a good job of giving depth to each character we meet along the way. I mentioned in a previous video how hackers delivered paper-thin characters, but Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead dedicates a small snippet of dialogue to introduce every character, even the really small ones. This allows us to understand who each of these characters are and what their motivations are. We understand why the crime boss is so pissed when the job goes wrong. We also understand why each character reacts the way they do when the hitman comes for them. Some small spoilers ahead, as it's really hard to explain the themes of the movie without getting into some detail here, but I'll try to hide as much as possible if you want to check out the movie. The title itself leaves a very big clue to what this movie is all about. These men have a hitman coming for them, and the mob boss who sent him seems impossible to stop. So what each of these characters have to do is find a way to contend with death. As we learn on a deep-rooted level who these characters are, it is by no surprise they all make different choices on how to contend with death. Christopher Lloyd, who plays the older friend who's a little down on his luck, takes this as a moment to accept things for what they are and chooses to face the hitman head on. William Forsythe, who plays a trailer trash father, has a family to worry about, so he packs things up in his car and sets out with his family to leave Denver behind. As a black man, Bill Nunn links up with a group of black gangsters who are willing to protect him as he hides from the hitman. Tred Williams plays a wacky ex-con who's not all there and edgy to get into a fight, so he bunkers himself in his apartment with a shotgun, waiting to face the hitman in a gunfight. These four characters take fundamentally different actions towards how to face death. You can lay down and accept death. You can hide from death. You can run from death. Or you can even fight with death. The choice is up to you. But these are not the only four choices we see how to deal with death in the movie. If we keep watching, a couple of other characters have a few other choices of their own. We also have the mob boss, who's disabled and a widower. All he has left is his son, who's quirky to say the least, so he's obsessed with trying to get his son straight so that his legacy can continue after he's dead. With his son not living up to his expectations, he also finds himself paralyzed from the neck down, which has its own issues. With no ability to feel a woman, he still finds pleasure in having an attractive nurse tend to him so that he can maybe sometimes get a hard-on that he can't even feel. This mix of being an old man who's fixated on sex despite not being able to have any gives a weird mix of sex and death being all there is to this crime boss's life. And finally, we have Andy Garcia, who walks a different path than all of them. Andy Garcia had plans. He didn't have a family of his own yet, but wanted one. He also feels obligated to help his friends, help others, and accomplish a few other things before death comes knocking for him. So what does he do? Does he lay down and accept death? Does he run or hide from death? Does he try to fight death? He chooses to accept death for what it is, but in a way where he can still take action. The family he dreamed of was no longer possible, but he still finds a way to leave a part of himself behind. His friends all needed him, so he did what he could to help them, and when left to contend with his old crime boss, he didn't bother to fight with death itself, but instead contend with the vile man who is deliberately trying to put death at his door. Complementing all this narrative of death is Andy Garcia's company called Afterlife Advice, which records people who are terminally ill, giving them a chance to pass on some of their wisdom. Throughout the film, we get clips from people who have to face death, but share their most tender moments as they're about to kick the bucket. This final bit should demonstrate how much this movie is dedicated to having a theme of memento mori. Remember, you're going to die. Death's coming for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. No matter how much you run or hide from it or fight with it, it's coming. So you might as well get busy doing what's important now. And so, surprise, surprise, I did find yet again a way to reference stoicism in one way or another in one of these videos. But following the themes, this one hits just as well, if not better, than the Donnie Darko video I did a while back. But to give yet another quote, here's one from Marcus Aurelius that sums up the whole theme of the movie pretty well. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead is a crime movie which subverts expectations of a crime movie, as it leaves us contemplating our own mortality, thinking more about life and our place in it. It is a crime movie, but a crime movie that offers more than just machine gun mayhem. When I looked up how it did on its release date, I was sad to see that it was actually a blockbuster flop. It got mixed reviews from critics and failed to get traction at the movie theaters. I can see how this movie is not for everyone, but was astounded it did so poorly. Looking at when it came out in 1995, I did discover a few indicators as to why it may have done so bad. This movie came out the same year as Heat, Casino, and The Usual Suspects, with these three powerhouse crime movies all competing at the same time. It's no wonder the more artsy film of Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead didn't really do so well. This had steep competition, and don't get me wrong, those other three films don't certainly have their right as very, very, good movies. But I get the sense that this movie could have gotten a lot more love if it came out at a different time. When contending with these 3 films, I could see the slower pace of Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead not landing as well with audiences as the 3rd or 4th option for a crime drama. Nonetheless, I would recommend checking this one out for free on Tubi. It's less action heavy than most of your other favorite crime movies, but will still leave you satisfied with an original story and a multifaceted characters and theme. As always, thanks for watching.